that. My good friends, James Mwangi, my PS is my friend. In case you friends like Moreu, we grew up together in Kangemi when we were young. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go straight into the business of the day. Not only Kenya's priority, but Africa's collective determination to turn integration into shared prosperity. This gathering is about more than the launch of the 2 digital platforms. It is about redefining as Africans, organize ourselves to trade, investment, and grow together in a rapidly changing world. For decades, Africa has pursued unity in vision and solidarity in purpose. We have built strong continental institutions, reaching frameworks such as the African Continental Free Trade Area. We have harmonized policies and reduced barriers. Yet, despite these achievements, the of African traders, manufacturers, and investors remains challenging. Too often, opportunities are identified but not realized. Promising engagements stall and potential partnerships fade. Transactions take too long, cost too much, or fail to yield the expected results altogether. This is the execution gap we must confront. Question more to facilitate trade and investment in many ways. Economy and personal networks. Reliable data, and institutional memory that outlive. That is why today's launch is significant. Biashara Link and Deal House introduce a new model of economic policy, one that is digital by design, results-oriented, and anchored in accountability. Biashara Link provides a common platform for capturing and organizing opportunities. It transforms informal leads into institutional assets. And investment prospects are documented, monitored, and pursued systematically. Deal House completes the chain. It brings credibility, financing, and transaction support. Execution, ensuring that serious business receives serious follow-through. Together, Biashara Link and Deal House turn diplomacy into delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have heard, global markets are changing rapidly. Supply chains are shifting, competition for investment is rising, and technology is transforming trade. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area, through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we have committed ourselves to build regional value chains and expanding intra-Africa trade. But integration must move beyond policy into practical, commercially viable systems. These platforms help us to do exactly that. They open access for small and medium enterprises, empower women and youth, reduce transaction risks, and build trust across borders, making African trade more inclusive and competitive. For Kenya, this initiative reflects our commitment to modernizing our foreign service and aligning diplomacy with development. We are equipping our missions with digital tools, financial partnerships, and private sector expertise to deliver measurable economic outcomes. While we begin with our missions, our ambition is continental. We see this as a shared infrastructure for African cooperation, and we invite our sister countries to join us on this journey. Let us appreciate Real Sources Africa and Equity Bank for their partnership and Pan-African vision, which demonstrates the power of collaboration between government, finance, and enterprise. We also acknowledge Conrad Adenar Stiftberg, which has been a consistent partner in supporting dialogue and interventions that are not abstract but anchored in institutional strengthening and delivery. The future of African diplomacy, not only in conference halls, but in markets, factories, ports, and digital platforms such as this. The success of these initiatives will be measured in completed deals, jobs created, and enterprises grown. If we do so, Africa's next chapter will be written in performance and not promises. So before I just step off this, let me really acknowledge Conrad. We presented a sessional paper for Kenya, that is sessional paper number 1 of the year 2025, where we went through a process of participation and presented to our parliament for the first time a sessional paper where we got parliament to endorse our foreign policy and our diplomatic engagements. I want to admit that, to acknowledge that Conrad walked with us in this journey. So he's not coming just at the tail end. He was part of a process which allowed us to really review our foreign policy and have an opportunity looking at it from a different perspective. So these are indeed some of the results. The second thing I just want to point out is that for Africa, we have no option. Those of us have had some background around matters finance. There are some predictability, integrity, credibility, consistency. And the biggest culprit seemed to be Africa. Whenever they talked of credibility, they would say it's lacking. Whenever they would say predictable policies, those policies are not predictable. Africa was a culprit. Whenever they would say reliability, Africa was a culprit. So the question now is, in the sudden geopolitical environment, whose policies are really unpredictable? Whose policies are now not consistent? Where can you get a voice that says, like James Mwangi here, that when he gives you his word, take it to the bank? Are we in a position today, globally, to be able to say that with this policy, with this innovation, with this decision, you can take it to the bank. I believe this platform is going to help us answer those questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me stop there because it will be predictable and credible. And that means I should not say too much, but to wish and recognize the entrepreneurship of all those who have been involved. Thank you so much for bringing us in. Asante.